this is a day that I'm just going to once again say I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the Packers because this game was 27-10 at the end of the third quarter. A couple of late touchdowns made the game closer than it would appear at 27-25. But when the game was still in reach, when the game was still a game, the Packers didn't have the juice. And I've been holding out hope that the Packers were different than the critics said. They were better than the doubters believed. I thought that the way the Packers were playing down the stretch gave reason to believe that even though they were not going to catch the Lions or the Vikings or the Eagles for the 1 seed, even though they couldn't win the division either, that this was going to be an incredibly dangerous team to play in the playoffs and that they had one last shot to prove it. And that was today in Minnesota. And they fell behind by 17 points when the game was still a game. And, whether it was Jordan Love just being ineffective first half of the game, Matt LaFleur going for it on a fourth down where you kick the chip shot field goal, make it a 7-6 ball game. Why go crazy and go for the fourth down? I didn't like that. You had the missed field goal and the 55-yard attempt at the end of the first half by the Vikings. A questionable offsides penalty, but still, it's an offsides penalty. You can't do that. And so there you go. That's a mistake by a young player on special teams. It leads to another attempt, and there it goes in. And so now it's they extend the lead. It was too much of the Packers are just not good enough. And I'm sick and tired of it because I think that they are good enough, and yet there's no evidence of it. They've lost twice to the Lions, twice to the Vikings, and once to the Eagles. I can't make the argument that the Packers are better than their record suggests. I can't. They're going to end up finishing the season with a win next week to move to 12-5, and it's going to be impressive. But if all 5 of your losses are against the team that you will have to beat in the playoffs, I'm sorry, I can't believe that it's going to change in January. Today was the last time I could make the argument, no. The Packers are still dangerous. The Packers are still dangerous. And they just once again came up lackluster in the spot that mattered. And again, that final score did not indicate the fact that in the first half, into the third quarter, they just got outclassed. And I thought the Packers coming off of last year's playoff win, the Packers coming off an offseason where Jordan Love kind of seemed that he was going to corral all of his powers after that win in Dallas in the postseason last year, adding a great running back, and adding to a power ground game with 2 young, very good wide receivers and some supplement on the defensive side of things with some good young talent in the secondary. I thought that Packers team, that team's ready to go and take the leap to become one of the best teams in football. And they just never hit that. And some of this is the Jordan Love injury throughout the season. But, I can't sit here with a straight face and keep saying that they're better than their record because they've lost all the games that they would have to win against the type of teams that you have to beat in the playoffs to be better than they were last year. So what can I say? I held out hope. They're going to make the playoffs. And so there's a new life. But at the moment, my belief in the Packers has dwindled yet again because they couldn't get it done yet again against an elite competitor.